Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where we have 3 inches of snow on the ground and it's holding. It happened a couple of days ago and the temperatures have been so cold that the snow isn't melting. Our snow is usually gone in a day or two, so this is a little bit unusual. So it's very bright everywhere. We look outside and need dark glasses because of the snow. I'm very excited about today. This is something that I've wanted to do for the last 2 years. About 2 years ago, one of our viewers suggested that I explore Anasazi beans. And they're very Southwest, and I love everything in the Southwest. And so I thought, oh yeah, I need to do that, and promptly forgot about it until there was recently in my news feed on my phone a whole article about Anasazi beans. And I learned some new things about them. And so I went on Amazon and I ordered 10 pounds. And here they are. They come in this cute little gunny sack package from one of the original growers of the Anasazi beans. So I want to tell you why I'm so curious about these and why we're going to be doing some exploring today. And this has everything to do with food security and emergency preparedness. We really enjoy beans, and I have several different types of beans, 8 or 10 different types of beans, and I love trying out new beans. You may remember that we tried out Jacob's cattle beans within the past year or so. There are some different things about these Anasazi beans that I'm going to be curious about, so we'll see how our explorations turn out today. First of all, Anasazi beans are named after the Anasazi Pueblo people in the Southwest, and they were given that name by the Navajo tribe. And nobody knows exactly what happened to them. There's lots of conjecture about drought and the wars with the Navajo people, actually. And they just abandoned their crops, their homes, and were gone. And so there's a lot of legend that is associated with these beans. Some sources say that they were unearthed. They're about 7,000 years old is when they were first cultivated. And so they were unearthed in clay pots at burial sites and started that way. But what really brought them to the forefront was a farmer in Dove Creek, Colorado, elevation 7,000 feet. And he evidently had acquired some of those beans and then had left them in his warehouse for years and then rediscovered them, planted them, and found out that they grow beautifully in the red soil of Dove Creek and in the Southwest climate. And so he copyrighted, or anyway, he protected the name Anasazi Beans. And actually it is his company from which I bought these. These come from Adobe Milling Company in Dove Creek, Colorado. And I bought 10 pounds. Now they're a little bit more pricey than regular beans. I think they're about $4 a pound if I remember right. And so I want to find out if they're really worth that. At that price, I won't be storing pounds and pounds and pounds of these beans, but I would, if they work out the way I'm hoping that they do, I would like to store some so that we can have a variety. So I haven't opened these yet. I've never seen a real live Anasazi bean. So we're going to do that right now. And I'm hoping that this is the kind of string that you can just pull. Yes, it is, and it comes loose. Woohoo! So then I am going to, oh my gosh, they're beautiful. Oh, look at these. They look like a paint pony. And because this is a gunny sack, the dust for those beans is getting all over my counter. We figured they'd fit, Jim.
Yep.
Just perfectly. But what a cute little bag this is. I'll be saving that bag for something. I don't know what, but I'll find something to use it for. So what we're going to do today is, they're small. I didn't realize they were that small. So let's talk about these beans for just a minute, what I have learned. First of all, they are the same family as all the other beans are that we have. The pinto beans and the Jacob's cattle beans and navy beans, and they all belong to the same family. These, however, have a little bit thinner skin, and so we have to be a little more careful, so I've read, when we cook these. Otherwise, they get mashed up a little bit. And then the benefit of not having that tough outer skin is that they absorb flavors more. And so people who use Anasazi beans regularly really love how they absorb the flavors. They are very velvety in texture and nut-like in taste, so the explanations say. And one of the really good things is that they do not have nearly as much of the starch that other beans have that cause some folks to have gas quite bad when they eat beans. And so that's also a really positive characteristic. And then another thing is also that they are higher in some of the micronutrients than other beans are. They're high in iron, they're high in phosphorus. So what we are going to do today is a couple of things. I want to taste them. I want to cook some and taste them. So I have a ham hock that we're going to just cook a batch of these beans and have for dinner tonight. I also want to see how well they can. Now, one of the things that was said among the articles that I read on these beans is that these cook up fairly fast without soaking. The USDA in canning has particular procedure that must be followed if you follow their recommendations, which I do. And so I'm hoping that by following the USDA recommendations, it doesn't mush up these beans too much, but we're going to try it out. That's what we're going to try. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to weigh out 2.5 pounds of these beans. I've calculated my best guess at what it's going to take for 4 pints. I'm not going to can a whole bunch of quarts. I'm going to just do a canner full, my Nesco canner full of 4 pints. We're going to try that out to see if they can well. And then we're going to cook some up for dinner tonight. So, and I think that would be a total of about 2.5 pounds of beans. So here goes. We're going to just see what we can get here. Okay, so that is approximately 40 ounces, which is 2.5 pounds. I need to make a label for this little container here that says Anasazi beans. Jim found 4 of these containers at the dollar store for a fantastic price. And I had just bought 4 at the regular price on Amazon. So right now we are very well stocked with empties of these that we need to fill up. Okay, so here are our beans. And the next step that we do is I put these in a colander. So I'm going to rinse these, sort through them, and we're going to put them right here in this pot after I've rinsed them. We're going to follow the USDA guidelines about hydrating these beans before we can them. And now I'm just going to cover them with boiling water with that extra 2 inches. And then we're going to put these on the stove and boil them for 2 minutes, and then keep them covered and let them just soak for an hour. And that will rehydrate them, and that is the USDA fast soak method. So we're going to get that far, and then we will come back. I just decided to go ahead and put these beans in our Amazon store. So if you're curious and want to check them out, they are in the food storage section. So our hour of soaking is up, and I need to tell you that the beautiful color and pattern on these beans fades with cooking. So here they are after an hour. They are very plumped up now, very hydrated. And USDA says that we need to drain this water, the soaking water. Now, I'll tell you why that is important. A lot of people say, I don't like to waste water. I'm just wanting to use that water to go ahead and cook the beans in. Well, of course you can if you wish to do that. But we need to remember that while beans are soaking like this, a lot of the things have leached out of the beans that are not exactly the best for our GI tract. And so I don't ever save the soaking water, but we'll fill the pots with clean water, and then that water that becomes the cooking water, and that's what we will cook and can with. I have a larger colander here, along with the other small one, because the beans have swelled in size. Go ahead and let those drain for a minute. And then this becomes the cooking pot for the beans that we're going to can. This becomes the cooking pot for the beans that we are going to have for supper tonight. And I got this wonderful looking ham hock. Jim got them for me. I got 6 of them. And I told Jim, please tell the butcher that we want as meaty ham hocks as possible. And he did a great job. So I'm just going to drop that ham hock right here in this pot. Right now, I am going to estimate the amount of beans that are needed for 4 pints. 4. And the rest are going in this pot for dinner tonight. The reason that I'm separating them now is because we start with the canning ones. We have to pre-cook these for 30 minutes. And I don't want our dinner beans cooked for 30 minutes without the ham hock. So right here, our dinner beans are going in this pot, and I'm going to be adding some hot water. So these will be done probably in about an hour. These will pre-cook for only 30 minutes. All right, both pans are going on the stove, so we will be back when these have pre-cooked for 30 minutes and we're ready to get them in the jars. And then any leftover beans will go in the ham hock pot. So we will see you at that point. These have pre-cooked for 30 minutes now, and whoa, hot. We are ready to go ahead and fill jars. Now my Nesco canner fits 5 pints. I'm only going to be doing 4. That's the minimum number of jars that you can have in a canning batch according to the USDA. Okay, so we're going to be leaving an inch of headspace. So that's what we have left. Water dampened paper towel around the top. Lids. And rings finger tight. And into the canner. The canner already has 2 quarts of water in it, which should bring the level up to about 1/3 of the way on the jars. And here we go. So, close the lid. The green pressure regulator is in the up position. We're going to turn it on to high. We're going to plug it in. There we go. We're going to turn it to high and to 75 minutes. And start. So let's take a quick look at our beans with the ham hock and see how they are doing. So I want mostly just the beans to be added here. This is going to be a nice amount of beans for us, Jim.
Okay.
Get
Kinda
that
looks that way.
ham hock almost covered. Yay. And there's still plenty of juice. So we will leave the ham hock with beans cooking for probably about another 30 minutes. And then the canner is processing. Pretty soon it will be venting steam for 10 minutes, and then I will drop that green pressure regulator down so that it will contain the steam inside, and then it will get up to pressure and start counting down from 75 minutes. So we will bring you back when jars are ready to take out of the canner and when the other beans are done. So see you then. We're back, and it took the Nesco just about exactly 1 hour for it to get all the way down to zero pressure. And so I know that some of you are concerned that maybe I wasn't leaving it long enough, but I always leave it long enough. It says in the instruction book to allow it to cool for an hour before you open it. Well, it takes an hour at our house for it to get down to zero pressure. Plus now it's been an additional 7 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and open it up carefully. And all is well. We have had zero siphoning, so that's always good news. So as you can see, they have lost their distinctive coloration, but they are beautiful, and we're going to let them cool for probably about an hour, and then it will be time for us to have supper. So we will open up one of these jars and compare it with the beans that are already ready for us to have supper with over on the stove. And I'm holding them at a temperature that is safe so that there will be no bacterial contamination there. And we'll just do a little taste test. We have already tasted these. They are fantastic. And it only took 45 minutes for them to get done. So we'll have a taste test to see how these do canning, which will help me decide whether or not I'm going to be canning more. So we will see you in about an hour. It is supper time, so we are ready to do this taste test. So I'm just going to open up this one. And I'm going to put just a little bit in this bowl. Oh my gosh. They held up beautifully. Jim can come and get a close-up of that. You can see that they're not mushy at all. So I'll taste them now, and we'll see if they taste non-mushy. Well, they're very soft. They're maybe softer than like pinto beans are or kidney beans are after having been canned. They're not mushy, but they are soft. They would mash really well. Oh, they're velvety smooth. And the taste is fantastic. This is our supper. So we can come get a close-up of this. Now, these only cooked for about 45 minutes, so they're probably not going to be as soft. The ham hock has been submerged. I'll go in and take some of the meat off that ham hock, but I'm just going to give this a taste now too. I put about a cup of dehydrated onions in at the start, so we should be able to taste the salt, which I have added, and the onion flavor as well as the ham flavor. Oh, I've just gone to bean heaven. Jim is giggling. Oh, those are fantastic. They are a little more firm than the canned ones are. But I really do believe I can use the canned ones just fine. So I am probably going to can, probably a few quarts of these. I'll have to get more, but I'm up for that because these beans would be just fantastic in salads and other bean dishes, of course, as well. But the flavor, I can see why people just rave about these beans. They really are delicious. So here ends our exploration of Anasazi beans. It's been a great day, and especially when the canner was going, Jim went into town to do a few errands, and look what he brought back. Honestly, he is just so wonderful. He surprises me with roses quite often. I've been really struggling over the weekend with a tooth that blew up, and I now look forward to several dental appointments to get it all taken care of. So I think he was bringing me these as kind of a cheer me up gift because I'm facing the dentist in the morning.
Sounds reasonable to me.
So thank you so much for being with us. We just appreciate you all so very much. Be sure that you subscribe if you haven't, and share everything that you can on our channel with people that you know who might need this information to help them as well. So we will see you very soon for another video.